first of all, we've got to do the magic knock. So. They're not always in there, you know, so just give it a sec. Okay, can somebody answer the door? We're ready for you.
I'm Erick Baker, and I've lived in Tennessee my entire life. However, for the last decade, touring the world, I've only seen it passing by from a windshield. But finally, Tennessee is calling me back where I belong. There's a place you've never been that's right where you want to be. I want to rediscover how great my home state is, and I want you to come with me. Uncharted. The Great Smoky Mountains. Not only are they the home of the most visited national park in the U.S., but they've served as the host destination of too many summertime Baker vacations to count. I've spent hours enjoying the wonders of nature through the windshield of our old Escort at Cades Cove and collected airbrush t-shirts from the endless avenues of downtown Gatlinburg. In fact, we've amassed so many family photos from the top of the Gatlinburg skylift, you can almost arrange them as a flipbook of my tumultuous journey through puberty. But over the years, like too many Tennesseans, I've grown familiar with all the fanfare and lost my fascination, taking for granted what's in my very backyard. In fact, as a parent myself these days, I've neatly filed away visits to the Great Smokies as something for summertime. The same time when all the other 10 million annual visitors tend to schedule their trips as well. And with a biodiversity unmatched by any temperate forest of its kind, it's not difficult to see what draws the visitors May through October. But if you're like me, you may have overlooked this area past fall. Because while a light white may dust this destination come winter, the features are anything but frozen in time. In fact, just like the rather famous black bears of the park have hibernated this time of year, so have some of the higher prices and larger crowds you find during the peak season, making it that much easier to enjoy all the area has to offer, which is a lot, a whole lot in fact. Luckily, each year the fine folks of the Pigeon Forge Department of Tourism host Wilderness Wildlife Week, a full week of programming dedicated to the adventures and anecdotes of the Appalachians. And from group hikes in the outdoors to sessions for beginners in wildlife photography, even area artisans and everything in between, this event serves to connect and educate both budding and experienced outdoor enthusiasts on the many ways to enjoy the Smoky Mountains.
It's about the outdoors, it's about the environment, it's also about our Appalachian heritage here in this area. You know, it encompasses a wide variety of stuff, but it is themed in that it is all about the land and the environment. Here in Sevier County in particular, we offer 67 hikes and or field trips of varying, some are strenuous, some are rather moderate or more, so there's something there for everybody.
Okay.
We offer a little over 400 programs, which run the gamut from everything. You can learn about fly fishing, you can learn about bears, you can learn anything to do with the outdoors and the environment. And so we have a wide variety. I always say there's something for everyone here. If you'll come, I guarantee you, I personally guarantee you, you'll find something that you're interested in. You'll look over that program and you'll say, hey, I've always wanted to know about that. It doesn't cost you anything, so if you don't have to be rich or affluent to come here, you can be from any walk of life.
For TWRA, this week provides an opportunity to educate a wide variety of visitors on the wildlife they work to protect, as well as some of the techniques they've used to revitalize species that were not long ago nearing extinction within the state.
We've been managing wildlife in the state of Tennessee for over 65 years. And everything from bald eagles to river otters to elk to black bears to fish, everything that we do, there's hundreds and hundreds of success stories. And so I couldn't devote all my presentation to tell them about all of our successes because there's just so many. I did dedicate a fair amount of time to those challenges that you speak of.
Right.
And there's certain species which are giving us fits, whether or not it's quail or wild hogs or whatever. But I really do believe one of our biggest challenges for our agency moving forward is engaging those folks in that room, because there's a number of them that don't know anything about our agency, and here we are sitting at Wilderness Wildlife Week who are nature lovers and they still don't know about us. Our agency recognizes the fact that we need to provide outdoor recreational opportunities to the general public. It's no longer just the hunters and fishermen.
While sometimes mistaken as simply law enforcement, in reality, the agency consists of hundreds of biologists who serve as stewards to the state's natural resources through everything from acting as educators to managing limits. One of the many regional success stories of this management are the 1,500 black bears that call the Smokies home. That works out to almost 2 bears per square mile of the park. So needless to say, it's not difficult to understand why spotting a bear in these parts is a fairly common occurrence. I've been training for this my whole life. I've always wanted to be a bear.
And he starts doing some stuff to me. Get me. Okay, bear.
These are my cherries. These are my cherries. I'm a bear.
If you all have a bear do that, please call me. If you don't, please call me. And it hurts him for a minute, but he comes right back.
I'm mad. I'm mad.
Get back, bear. I said, get back.
Mad.
Get back, bear. I got pepper spray. This is real stuff. Get back. Get back. No, here he's coming more. Okay. I told you it would work. I told you. I tell people, use common sense. Some people,
That's tough for me, Kim.
Well,
so
some
I need
people
more
actually,
than that.
they're very intelligent people. For some reason, when they go into the park around bears, they go brain dead, it seems like.
Right.
The Walt Disney thing probably sometimes confuses people about we don't dance with bears, we don't kiss bears, we don't hug bears too. It's a wild animal and it's capable of hurting or even worse. So people have responsibilities of what they should or shouldn't do.
Today not only allowed me to test drive a costume for Halloween 2016, it also provided some steps to stay sensible should I stumble across a black bear in my adventures. So far since coming to the Smokies, I've heard all about wildlife and management and bears. Oh my. But I've also heard that there's plenty of other ways to get a feel for the wilderness in these parts. So before the crew and I call it a day, we're sliding up to Ober Gatlinburg to board a thrill of another sort. In all the times I've been to this area, this is the first time I've ever made the trip up the mountain to Ober Gatlinburg. You see, first of all, since I set my eyes on my first slopes, I've been a bit of a ski snob. Like far too many folks who've lived nearby their entire lives, I couldn't fathom how something so close to home could rival the resorts you find out west. But as you may have gathered by this point in the series, my goal is to seek out the uncharted. And since in my few decades I've never hit the slopes on anything other than skis, today I've been talked into snowboarding. And to start me off right, I'm meeting up with one of the longtime instructors on staff, Pete Joker. Youngest and oldest snowboarders that you've had out here?
3.5.
Wow.
And 74.
Wow. So this is for everybody?
It is for everybody.
At least to attempt.
It's for everybody that enjoys this kind of weather and this kind of activity.
Okay. I mean, you've been out here since how long? How long have you worked here on the mountain?
I came to Gatlinburg in the season of 84, 85, so this is my 30th season.
What has brought you back for 30 years, man?
Yeah, I know the rest of my life, plus the love for skiing and snowboarding, but actually the love of teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 30 years of experience, I'm I'm in good hands.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. Look at this. Huh?
Yeah,
look at that. I'm
doing
getting fancy
Yeah,
with it,
there
son.
you go.
I'm a great dancer, so I'm feeling
Okay.
it.
Now, can you do that in the air?
In the air. I hope I don't have...
Nice!
Oh! Yeah!
You're kidding me. You snowboarded before, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't?
I like that, though. Say that again. Oh, wow. You know, I'm just a natural, and, man, I'm very tall in these snow boots. While Pete's easy attitude helped me make a joke of today's lesson and find myself doing some smooth sliding in no time, as fate would have it for all of my past pretension, my confidence got the better of me, and I ate it. I guess it was just the mountain's way of settling the score.
Ober Gatlinburg is a place that's a little bit different than any other place in Gatlinburg or Sevier County for that matter.
I've lived in Knoxville, and I don't know why I haven't been up here. And but I mean, I know that there's people at home that often kind of that first step is the hardest.
Yes.
So I mean, ultimately, why should people come to Ober Gatlinburg?
There's something for all ages for people to do, you know? So basically, their grandma or mom who's inactive or dad who's inactive, they can go in the shops, they can watch the ice skaters. You know, there's plenty of time for them to spend, you know, while other people do activities. Also for groups, you know, there's a place for everyone to go. There's a lot of space here.
As I look around, I can't believe that I've never been here. And I can't help but wish that I'd visited sooner. Even though I'm only an hour from my front doorstep, Ober Gatlinburg is one of those few places that makes me feel like I'm far away. However, just down the mountain, there's a great place that specializes in making folks feel like family. In fact, you might say they get a lot of amusement out of it. While most parks pride themselves primarily on their wild rides, Dollywood offers up a rich swath of the craftsman traditions of Tennessee. And as you accompany these master craftsmen back to how these trades were practiced over a century ago, the story of artistry they bring to life is made all the more special by the Smoky Mountain Christmas festivities they feature this time of year.
Ready?
I'm ready. Hey, we've already started, Karen. The red lights are on and we are rolling. 'Tis the season to be jolly.
La 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 la.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have some fun today.
This is called carving wax.
Okay.
And the wax is heated. Each one of these different colors are setting in a large canister, and the large canister contains water, which heats the wax. And then we're going to be dipping from wax to water, continually dipping back and forth until we get all of our layers built onto it. And then once we get it dipped, we'll have about 5 to 7 minutes to do the carving work on the candle before the candle gets cold.
So is that a technique that you have come up with, or?
It was a technique that was taught to me.
Okay. Now, is this your first season making candles here, or?
No, I've been here for quite a few years. This is about my 25th season for making candles.
So now the carving begins?
Now the carving begins.
All right.
Now the glasses go on.
Now, did you start out? I mean, have you made candles then your whole life? Is this?
No. I used to go down and watch the lady who made these before me. Her name is Betty Dyer.
Okay.
Betty's in her mid-90s now. She came from a long line of candle makers. Her aunt was a candle maker, and her grandmother was a candle maker. So that would actually date probably back into the 1800s.
Man.
Candles actually date all the way back into the biblical times, because when man first discovered fire, he also discovered that if he put his meat over the fire, the drippings would drip down into the fire and make a bright glow. So therefore, he took the fat from the animals, using just twigs, sticks, anything he could come up with, to use as his wick. Today, we use woven cotton wicking, the same as they did back in the late early 1900s.
So is it one candle at a time? Is that pretty much your process?
One candle at a time
Wow.
on these. Yes, it is.
So this is a really special piece then.
Sure it is. All of them are special. They're made with love.
Sharing the light with the world.
Exactly.
One candle at a time.
Exactly.
See, I would have looked at that and thought that you added all of that, you know, instead of working from within. Yeah, it's amazing. And just watching your hands and like all of these cuts, they're all, it's almost like, I mean, you're not measuring or anything, but your hands just know what to do, you know? It's pretty awesome. This candle's gonna be awesome. Santa Claus.
Remember, you only got 5 to 7 minutes.
Quit talking to me then. I'm easily distracted. Are there a lot of master craftsmen candle makers in the world?
There's probably quite a few. But I'm the only one here at Dollywood.
Well, and you're the first one I've ever met, and you're my favorite. Aw, look at Erick's candle. Erick just ruined Christmas. Oh. See? That's good. Oh, I'm sorry. For me, one of the things I look forward to most in winter is the joy of Christmas time. Each year I'm tasked with the honor of putting the lights on the family Christmas tree. All told, it's probably only 6 or 7 strands. However, inevitably, something always goes wrong. Compared with the over 4 million lights the festival features each year, with decorations starting all the way back in July, my struggles are seriously humbled. And between the scents of the cinnamon bread and the songs of the season, even the most serious case of bah humbugs will be set straight in no time. I think that's, let's see, can I see the finished, this finished one over here? I mean, all right, people at home, who can tell? Which one did I do? Which one, can anyone tell which one I did? I can't really, it's hard to tell the difference. Man. While there's no doubt that there's certain slopes in the Smokies that are known for moving like greased lightning, it's also no secret that these same hills are known for lightning of another sort. White lightning, that is. And while traditional moonshine was not so long ago an outlaw's game, today there's a proud group of East Tennesseans who are not only busy crafting superb shine, but what they call a give-back brand as well. So what do you say we go get a taste? Since opening in March of 2014, Sugarlands Distilling Company has set about sharing shine in a special way. From preserving a process that's true to the past, to connecting visitors to guided adventures in the park historically known as a moonshiner's paradise, Sugarlands has set out to do more than just sell. Instead, they try to tell the tales of tradition And on a cold day, I can't think of a better place to stop in and get warmed up.
Well, you're a Tennessee boy.
Absolutely.
I'm a Tennessee boy.
Yeah, man.
And there's a really good chance that somewhere in your past, you were hanging out at a friend's house and somebody said, I'll be right back. And they came back and they had this jar. Mm-hmm. And you're like, what in the world is that? And then you opened up the lid, you took a sniff, and you're like, you finally took a taste, and it was pretty amazing, pretty intense. That intimacy is what we really feel was missing, you know? When moonshine becomes mass-produced and produced in such a way that it was meant for thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people to actually have it, well, then it kind of takes away some of that intimacy.
That personal touch.
Yeah, and you know what? There's stories that are shared back and forth in that sort of setting. You know, if you just take any old bottle of liquor out and say, hey, we're gonna have a drink and we'll talk. But when we bring this unique thing out, that's where we think the intimacy is, and that's where we think the best stories are told.
How difficult has that been, holding true to that authentic process? And how true is the process?
There's not a whole lot of difference. You can mess this up pretty easily, but at the same time, it's not an overly complicated process. Today, the only difference about what we're doing now and what they did back then is our equipment is a little more sophisticated, certainly a lot more costly, and we're paying taxes on the product. But what you're gonna see is our whole process, step by step, from grinding of our grains, whether it be corn or it's rye. We actually get that down into a meal. We mix it with Smoky Mountain water. We're going to cook it. We're going to then ferment it, and then we're going to distill it 6 times. And then we're going to watch that whole process finally take us to that final product, that fantastic Smoky Mountain moonshine. That's what we do best. That's what we do best. And we are focused on that taste because, again, we don't want to mess that up. We are representing this region. And to the world, moonshine belongs right here in the Smoky Mountains.
Right on, man.
We've got a pretty consistent product, but every single batch tastes just a little bit different. It's a small batch. It's micro distilled, and each one's a little unique.
All done right here on property that people can take the same tour that you just gave me.
We hand bottle it. We've got 5 bottlers that spend 4 or 5 days a week here, and they got a little machine that puts it in the bottle, and then they manually cap it, manually put the labels on it, drop it in a box, label a case, tape it all up, and put it on a pallet, and out the door it goes.
Right on, man. Sugarlands Distilling Company offers visitors the complete Tennessee moonshine experience, sharing in the story of this area, one jar at a time.
We talk about having one foot in the past and one foot in the present. That's kind of where our story is. We get to kind of surround ourselves with history, and the best way that we can do that and pay the most respect to it is by paying attention to the process, using great ingredients and producing a fantastic final product. We have people who are coming in from all over the place and they say, hey, we want to get into the woods. How do we do that? Well, we want to get them into the Sugarlands, certainly. And so Smoky Mountain Guides, they can charter a trip with them, take them on half-day hikes, overnight hikes, take groups out, do business retreats. I mean, it's a really great setup. And we always say, look, you've made it this far to Gatlinburg. Treat your feet to some dirt.
Right on.
Get in the woods, you know, get into the water, get into the woods. It's all there. That's the reason this whole place is even here. We've got all the shops and all the commercial here in Gatlinburg, and it's wonderful, and people are never going to stop coming here. But you definitely owe it to yourself to keep going on and explore this beautiful part of the world.
Just like the summer trips of my tender youth, our tradition now is every fall my mom insists on driving through the Smokies to look at the leaves. We spend hours pulling off at the same overlooks to take in all the same views as the years before. Too many times I've tried to talk her out of the trip, telling her about all the tourists and traffic. This trip, however, has helped me rediscover that. And if we're being honest, all the tourists and traffic are rather telling. These mountains are magical. They're filled with wonder and beauty. And for me, so many amazing memories with my family. As Mother Nature settles down for some slumber at the end of each summer season, she offers the visitors wise enough to come witness her winter weeks a glistening glimpse of how great she really is. This may have been my first time to experience the Smokies in the winter, but I assure you it won't be the last. And now, instead of looking forward to another spring once the leaves start to fall, my family and I can look forward to all the fun found in falling snow.